In today's news, Stalwart businessman, Rotarian and philanthropist Alric Corea has died. Governor Defense Auditor General says he is confident in her work. Territory celebrates the life and legacy of Honorable H. Lavity Stoutt. Supervisor of Elections brings clarity ahead of 2023 elections, and Governor confident that leak wasn't from his office. But these are more stories when 284 News return.
There are many ways to enjoy life, like so many ways to count on Popular.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got here. My name is Kamal Haynes. Most of you know me from 284 News, but now you get to see me in a different light on my very own show called Health is Wealth. We have Joel Turnbull.
I don't want you to arch your back when you're pulling down.
Milton McLean.
First of all, right, your footwork.
Stephen Payne.
That was a 9 out of 10. I know you got the service down pat.
Steve Augustine.
You did a pretty hard workout today, so perhaps...
And as you can see, it's actually
you're feeling it.
Alonzo Boynes.
Taekwondo.
Adam Murrows.
I'll speak as if you're an absolute beginner.
I am an absolute beginner.
You are an absolute beginner.
And Seth Graham.
It bites. It will bite.
Get your water, get your fruits and veggies, and experience a wealth of knowledge about getting healthy. Well, welcome viewers to the Tuesday, March 7th edition of 284 News. I am Kamal Haynes, bringing you the latest out of the British Virgin Islands. While leading today's news, Alric Corea, a stalwart businessman in the British Virgin Islands, passed away on March 3rd, 2023 at the age of 76. When he was born on February 24th, 1947. Our Ron Grant has more on this report.
Mr. Corea was married to the late Judith Teatley Corea and is survived by his 5 children, 12 grandchildren, and 1 great-grandchild. His siblings, extended family in the BVI and St. Vincent. Mr. Corea was the inspiration for the foundation of the Virgin Islands Alzheimer's Association. Many described him as a man with a heart of gold. He was an ardent philanthropist who gave freely to many charities, in addition to mentoring many young entrepreneurs and afforded many various business opportunities. A native of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Mr. Corea came to the BVI as a young man some 55 years ago. Always having an industrious spirit, he worked in the hospitality and marine industries for many years. He owned K Marine Chandlery, a marine supply store in the late 80s and early 90s. Additionally, he got involved in real estate in the 80s. He then saw a need for a cleaning company and established Careers Business and Cleaning Services 46 years ago, perhaps one of the first of its kind in the British Virgin Islands, selling wholesale cleaning products. It is now widely known as one of the leading cleaning companies within the Virgin Islands. Careers Business Services recently relocated to their new headquarters in Duff's Bottom after serving the public faithfully for 29 years from their location in Port Purcell. Mr. Corea had a love for sports and was a strong community-minded individual who supported many sporting events, locally and internationally. He enjoyed watching and playing softball and cricket and was a strong supporter of basketball. He leaves behind a rich community legacy as a Virgin Islander and as a member of the BVI Investment Club, having been a catalyst for the CCT investment. He was a charter member and honorary Rotarian of the Rotary Club of Rotown and fought for the rights of women to be Rotarians in the BVI. Corea was also the founder of Z-King Radio 100.9, the very first Christian radio station in the BVI. The owners, management, and staff of CCT, BVI Cable TV, and 284 Media express sincere condolences to the family of the late Alric Corea.
Well, Governor John Rankin has come to the defense of the Auditor General following criticisms channeled at her work by members of the House of Assembly. More in this report.
Governor John Rankin has expressed unwavering confidence in the quality of work produced by the Auditor General and her team.
The Audit Act 2003 sets out that audit shall be undertaken in accordance with good auditing practices and standards, and I am satisfied that these audits meet that requirement. The mandate and methodology used in conducting the audits is set out in the reports for everyone to see. In the exercise of our functions, The Auditor General, under the Constitution, is not subject to the direction or control of any other person or authority. And I offer my continued support for and confidence in her work.
This comes after members of the House of Assembly heavily criticized the work of the Auditor General while debating the contents of audits conducted into government contracts issued to Claude Skelton Klein and Easy Shipping in recent years. While he noted that members of the House of Assembly are entitled to discussing such matters, he does not support the notion that these criticisms should trigger any review of the audits.
Thank you. It is, of course, for members of the House of Assembly to discuss and comment on the Auditor General's report as they wish, but no, I wouldn't support a review. The Auditor General is an independent institution, independent body under the Constitution, and it is for the Auditor General to prepare her audits as she sees fit. I recall, as other colleagues will, the comments which were made on the Auditor General's report which she produced in relation to payments made to farmers and fisherfolks immediately after it was released, and I believe that that report has stood up to public scrutiny and shown to be a fair and accurate report, and I believe that this report is also well based and has been carried out in accordance with the Audit Act 2003, and I have no doubts about the professionalism, independence and competence of the Auditor General.
While members of the House of Assembly, particularly Premier Dr. the Honourable Natalia Wheatley, have made it a point that the persons who were accused in the audits should have been interviewed for their side of the events, Governor Rankin says the time will come, likely during police inquiries.
There's going to be investigations. First of all, an assessment by the Attorney General's Office on possible civil recovery of any funds that may have been lost, but also criminal investigation. It will be for the police to determine who to investigate, but I'm confident that any of those who may be thought to have relevant information or potentially committed an offence will be properly interviewed by the police.
For 284 News, I am Jacka Wooding.
Well, the government of the Virgin Islands, along with family, friends and residents of the Virgin Islands, celebrated the life of the late Honourable H. Lavity Stoutt in the 23rd anniversary of such commemorations. Well, the theme for this year's celebration was Countryman Comes to Town, Keep the Vision Moving. Well, activities included a church service at the Zion Hill Methodist Church on Sunday, March 5th, followed by a wreath-laying ceremony at the Capoons Bay Cemetery. On Monday, March 6th, at the Eileen L. Parsons Auditorium, a grand theatrical presentation including a skit, musicals, selections, dance and poetry took place before a large audience. We'll take a look.
Good evening, my people of the 1st District. It has been announced a few months ago that the Legislative Council was going to be expanded to allow greater district representation under the membership system. People have always been my business, so I have listened to all the people of the 1st District who have encouraged me to seek a seat in the Legislative Council as their representative. People like Mr. Alfred Cameron, Mr. Baker Robinson, Mr. Andrew Smith, and Mr. Clarence Smith, and my dear brother, Bembe, and my employer, Mr. A.D. Watt.
That's the problem.
Our Premier Honourable Dr. Natalia Wheatley delivered a poem entitled Where There Is No Vision, the People Perish.
Where there's no vision, the people perish. The leadership of Lavity we really should cherish. He deserves credit for the way we've developed, the progress made, the prosperity we inherit. He gave the blueprint to erect a nation, which includes comprehensive education. Many auspicious occasions where he addressed the nation. A lay preacher preaching, God bless the nation. A great modernizer, standing ovation. He gave us roads and bridges for our transportation. Like a cutlass man chopping down vegetation, he cleared the path to our destination. In reflection of the man, I stand and pay homage. He gave us all a community college. He gave us scholarships to increase our knowledge, filled appetites for learning like our morning porridge. He developed tourism, putting green in our pockets. Now locals can own a nice villa or cottage. We were barefoot, now our nice shoes are polished. The BVI's belt has increased many notches. Where there's no vision, the people perish.
Well, Permanent Secretary in the Premier's office, Mrs. Carolyn Stoutt addressed the audience with opening remarks.
I am Carolyn Stoutt, Permanent Secretary in the Premier's office, and it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to the 23rd commemorative celebration for the late H. Lavity Stoutt. For those of you who might have seen other numbers in the past, the 27th and others above, we can count. We have gotten it right a couple years ago in terms of the numbers. Some persons were using the date of his death, but that was not when the celebrations began. Celebrations began in 2001, so we are at the 23rd, just in case you see something else different on Facebook. We are here grateful for the persons who willingly said yes, once asked, and those who use a little prodding because they're doing something outside of the box. For the past month, we have been planning and preparing for this theatrical production here today. I want to salute.
Well, the late H. Lavity Stoutt was born on March 7, 1929. He served as an elected representative consecutively from 1957 to 1995 and was the territory's first chief minister. Well, up next, Supervisor of Elections brings clarity ahead of 2023 elections, and Governor confident that leak wasn't from his office. Well, these and more stories after a word from our sponsors.
There are many ways to enjoy life, like so many ways to count on Popular.
Is that my lunch? Is that my lunch?
We're like the coworker that doesn't eat your lunch.
I'm John. I'm John.
CG Insurance. Good like that.
Is someone gonna get that?
Hello.
Hello.
So nice of you to have cleaned up for us. Hi, baby.
We're like in-laws that don't show up unannounced.
Don't worry, I've got this.
CG Insurance. Good like that.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
Welcome back, viewers. Well, in a recent exclusive interview with our agency, Supervisor of Elections Ms. Cherie Griffin addressed a number of concerns regarding the upcoming elections, but she sought to clarify concerns throughout the community. She first addressed the readiness and level of preparedness of the elections office.
Well, the preparations has been an ongoing process. Persons mainly focus on the key period which we are in now, but essentially as soon as the election ends, preparations begin because you have the post-election audit. You then begin the planning for the next election cycle. You begin reviewing the legislations and planning and preparing workers, updating your procedures and the like. So it's a continuous process. Okay. It's just not this defined period that we're currently moving into.
So in this defined period, with elections being expected to be called very soon, how prepared would you say the office is for the upcoming elections?
Well, we will be responding to whatever comes our way. So I would say we are in a heightened state of preparation, and we will continue our efforts towards whatever the election date when it's announced will be.
Well, a new legislation which governs elections in the Virgin Islands is before the House and as such makes various provisions for some changes.
Well, we are still operating under the present act. There was a first reading of a bill that was taken before the House for possible amendments. I would assume that the second and third reading would be had before the House is constitutionally due to be dissolved, which would be by next week, Sunday, the 12th of March.
And would that lend a way for an updated act going into the elections?
It would lend a way for updated provisions
Okay.
to the existing act.
What are some of those provisions that would come about as a result of the update?
Well, some of the provisions would be in relation to the availability of the list, being it available electronically. It will be in respect to advanced voting, who would be eligible, increasing the categories of voters to include candidates, medical doctors, nurses, emergency technicians, as well as prison officers, as well as the friends who may assist elderly voters or physically incapacitated voters on advanced polling day.
But she also spoke to the deadline for registration and transfer.
The deadline for registration and transfers, that date will be 2 days after the House dissolves.
Okay.
Whatever date that will
Whatever
be.
date that is. And again, you have 2 days after the House dissolves to
Yes, 2
update
business
the list.
days.
Okay.
Well, as in all elections, Ms. Griffin highlighted the importance of public involvement in reviewing the voters list.
It is very important because it's an ongoing process. Over the years, from the last time the list would have been updated would have been in September 2022. Persons may have moved, new persons might have been added, and you are expected to see those changes reflected on the preliminary list. So to ensure that that change, whatever it may have been, has been reflected, you are encouraged to inspect the list. Additionally, it also provides persons the opportunity, if you see someone's name that appears on the list and you have information or reason to believe that their inclusion on the list in that particular polling division or electoral district is incorrect, you have the right to file an objection to their inclusion on the list within the claims and objections period.
Okay.
So for that reason, it is important. That is another mechanism whereby you can allow and help the office to maintain the accuracy of the list.
And of course, that would include persons who might have passed away as well,
As
making
well,
sure that
yes.
their names have been removed from the list.
Yes, and we'll encourage persons if they do see a deceased relative or a friend and they have information that they can contact the office and provide a copy of the death certificate or the obituary or a copy of the funeral booklet and particulars so that we can go through the process to have them removed.
Well, the governor in a recent press conference explained his reasoning for ordering a leak inquiry into cabinet following the premature release of an audit report. And while his office was also in possession of this confidential document, he's confident that it was not the source of the leak. For more in this report.
Governor John Rankin has reserved comment on the audit report into the government's assistance grants programs pending a proper release of the document, which he believes was leaked from the cabinet. Rankin told members of the press that while it is important that such documents come to the public, it is necessary that due process be adhered to. His comments follow a previous written statement in which he ordered that the cabinet secretary conduct an inquiry into the leak.
While it is important that all audits received are published, it's also important that due process is followed, given the seriousness of the matters involved. As such, I await the tabling of the audit in the House of Assembly, at which point the report will be public, with names of individual recipients redacted as appropriate. In the meantime, I have ordered the Cabinet Secretary to carry out a leak inquiry in relation to this matter. I will comment further on this audit once it is properly made public.
Rankin's statement on the leak revealed that his office was also in receipt of an unredacted form of the audit. However, he has rubbished the idea that the source of the leak could have been his own office. Nonetheless, the governor says that his office is open to being investigated as seen fit by the cabinet secretary.
I'm confident there was no leak from my office, but it's for the Cabinet Secretary to carry out the leak inquiry, and I am subject to that inquiry, as in anyone else who's received a copy of the report.
For 284 News, I am Jacques Wooding.
Well, up next, BVI finished 4th in regional softball tournament with Curacao winning gold. And 2023 VIVA Power League opens with several teams winning in the men and women's division. These are more stories when 284 News return.
Hon, it's asking for your password.
Huh?
You were logged out. I need the password.
BR.
What's the rest?
BRANDI, the number 4, EVER?
Who's Brandy?
We're like the password that isn't your ex-girlfriend's name. CG Insurance. Good like that.
I should have changed it.
You should have.
You're right.
Live stream cable TV is here with CCT Live. Access over 80 channels that you can watch either at home or when you're on the go. And don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Rewind and watch in your own time. Come to CCT today and ask about our 1-month free trial offer. CCT Live. Bring it home.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, I can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch it when I reach home.
What you really? Hey, this ain't like you, you know?
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out of trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I hustle. I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Welcome back, viewers, and thank you so much for sticking with us. Well, the British Virgin Islands women's softball national team finished 4th in the Eastern Caribbean Amateur Softball Championship, a tournament which was won by the unbeaten Curacao team. But more in this report. Well, playing at the Virgin Islands National Park in St. John on Sunday, the BVI team fell short to Aruba to lose 9-8. But the BVI team had an impressive comeback at the top of the 7th inning after being down 8-5 to finish their inning tied at 8-8. With all to play for at the bottom of the 7th inning, Aruba managed 1 run to slip away with the victory and to take the bronze. One notable performances came from pitcher Jalissa Shelley Potter, who despite injuring her hamstring in the previous game, positioned the BVI well to remain in the game. Daria D. Malone, who struck her second home run of the tournament in the 4th inning. Bria Smith, whose strategic batting and good fielding at the first base kept the BVI with a fighting chance, and Kenisha Stoutt, who had 2 runs batted in. The coach or manager of the BVI women's national team, Honorable Neville Smith, spoke on the 4th place finish.
Well, I think the team played well based on the time we had to practice and train, because we never did have a full squad to practice at no time. So based on the training that they got and the time that we had, I think we did very good.
And today, another loss against Aruba, second loss against Aruba in the tournament. Speak on that.
Well, we lost this game, but to me, this is the best we played. Even though we lost the game, it was the best we played. We just made some executions that we were supposed to put on in place. But the team played very well. We came back, we fight back. Just at the end, the bottom of the 7th, we lost by a little mistake that we made. So, but overall, today the team played well.
Well, Smith also spoke on the team's overall performance in the tournament.
Our team, to me, everybody really performed. I must say everybody played at the expectation. Standout players, you will see like Daria, she had about 2 home runs. The pitching was doing well, but we failed in the end. The players played well. The infield played very good. The outfield played good. Like I said, overall, I think we played well. It's just that we need to put in the work, get better results. And like I told the team this morning, I'm committed. And from the time we reach back, I'm going to start practicing at least 3 times out of the month, even though the league is going on.
Okay. And also to speak about some of the performances that you would have seen from some of the other teams, were there any surprises that you would have noticed from the opposition teams?
Not really. I mean, Curacao, for sure, we know they always playing ball. St. Thomas, then I expected better out of St. Thomas, more out of St. Thomas, because I expect they got a lot of college players. But again, you have to talk about the gelling. Some of them maybe haven't played together before either. So it all comes down to practicing together, playing together. The more time you play to each other, the better you get.
Well, Coach Smith also addressed the future plans in store for the team.
See, there's where I keep talking about budgets, right? The more you can perform or go on tournaments, the better you become. Because competition will make you better. So we have to find a way that we could at least get 3-4 tournaments, 5 tournaments a year. So it means that the Stalwart Association have to find ways of invitational, bringing in teams or something, but we must play international to get better. The more competition you have, the better you become.
So right now, there's nothing on the cards for the rest of the year for the national team?
The league is opening, I think, in this month, but I think there's a tournament sometime in either this month, next month in St. Martin that we got an invitation to, so we're looking forward to going to that as well.
Well, meanwhile, Curacao defeated host USVI in a final, which was also played on Sunday in a narrow 3-2 win. But the win for Curacao means that they will now advance to the Central American and Caribbean Games in El Salvador, which will run from June 23rd, 2023 until July 8th, 2023. Reporting for 284 News, I am Kamal Haynes. Well, moving on to some more sports, where Dream Team, Guns, Raw Power, and Elite volleyball teams opened the 2023 Virgin Islands Volleyball Association's Power League, each with victories. We're playing at the multipurpose sports complex on Tortola last weekend, where Dream Team enjoyed a straight set victory against Hawks in the opening game of the men's division, winning 25-16, 25-10, 25-5. Well, Game 2 in the men's division also finished in straight sets, with Guns defeating Raw Power 25-15, 25-17, 25-17. In the women's division, the opening game between Phoenix Red and Raw Power went down the wire, with Raw Power taking the game in the 5th set, winning 20-25, 25-21, 24-26, 26-24, 15-12. But Elite Women took the final game on the opening weekend against Kiss My Ace, winning 25-18, 19-25, 25-16, 25-14. While speaking during the opening ceremony, President of the Virgin Islands Volleyball Association, Mr. Willis Potter, thanked all the stakeholders who made the league a reality and spoke to the development of volleyball at the grassroots level.
Today we bring the 2023 Volleyball Power League into focus. I would like to express publicly the commitment of the Volleyball Association to the development of volleyball across the British Virgin Islands. In partnership with the Ministry and Department of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports, we are currently working on developing our grassroots program in the primary schools. The after-school program, which has been championed by Ms. Jackie Weeks and her team, has shown great improvement in a number of our young players to date. I'm looking forward to seeing those young players wearing our national colors and representing this country abroad.
Well, Potter said the place to be is the multipurpose sports complex to see high-level volleyball in the BVI, as he issued the rules to the respective teams and players.
To our players, a great deal rides on you. It's very important that we be good ambassadors of the game. We should respect the game. A few rules that I want to highlight. Teams are expected to be in the building 30 minutes before the scheduled game time. The time written on the schedule is the time of the first serve, not the time for you to arrive. Any team not having 6 players at the time on the schedule, the game will be forfeited. Any team forfeiting 2 games, during the season must pay $50 to remain in the league.
Well, meanwhile, Minister for Sports Honorable Shari De Castro congratulated President Potter and his executive for their hard work in pushing volleyball in schools.
I know we recently procured nets for all schools, balls, whatever we needed. And so we're looking forward to seeing some young players come out of our schools and doing inter-primary and inter-secondary. We know you already do inter-secondary volleyball tournaments and really push the sport and allow young people an opportunity to get involved. They'll only get interested in what they're exposed to. And so we want to create as much opportunity as possible for them to be able to thrive in whatever capacity they will. So overall, I want to wish you an exciting league. I hope it's fun and empowering, and I look forward to coming out and supporting you. May the best team win, but most importantly, show the kind of camaraderie and respect that would allow the younger persons to come up to see why you're in the sport and why you're growing and developing in it. Let me shout out the national team who did amazing things last year. And we look forward to what you're going to do this year and beyond. So keep pushing. God bless you all, and I look forward to the success of this league.
Well, that's it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com and like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Kamal Haynes, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a safe and enjoyable evening. Bye-bye.